All right, I'm here at YCS Las Vegas with Austin, who has just won a Tengu mat in a Time Wizard side event, and he's going to show us his spicy goat deck profile.
Right on.
Let's get into it.
This is, again, no major theme. I would just say it's a bunch of fun goat cards. I've had this deck, it's been my personal deck for years now at this point, so again, it's not like Chaos Turbo or anything specific, but again, I can't say there's inherently a lot of rhyme or reason behind it, but it does flow well, and, you know, I like it.
And how long have you been playing goat format for?
Oh, shit.
Like back in the day?
No, I built my first goat format deck probably when I was 21-ish, so I don't know, like 8 years. But that was like the first, I would say, like actual competitive goat format thing I've like done. Yeah. So I've like done like tournaments and whatnot, but in terms of at a YCS or anything, that's my first goat event. So.
Interesting, because I saw some bling in that deck, and usually like people don't bling out their goat decks unless there's like an OG who played goat, but I respect it.
Nope, I just like my rarities.
Nice.
And so, all right. Believe it or not, we are playing Sinister Serpent. I don't think there's too much rhyme or reason. It is definitely just a great recursion card. Tomb Edition of Faith. This is, I would say, a little bit spicier. I do play Cyberstein. It's one of my favorite goat cards. Paying life points, I mean, again, I think it's totally worth it. I play a full extra deck, so I kind of have access to anything. I absolutely love going for Master of Oz.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, that's probably my biggest one.
What's your favorite card to go?
You sometimes obviously can go for Relinquish as well. If I'm feeling fun, I'll go for Gatling Dragon, just because it's another fun target, but it just depends on the situation. But again, the whole point of GOAT is to play for like just fun shit and to have fun with it. So Cyberstein is definitely it's a very aggressive card, but also I've won plenty of games with it. Spirit Reaper fits the theme of the deck, for it's just good. My favorite card of the entire game. I actually won the finals of my Go tournament with this card, which just felt like the whole symphony was playing in my head. But Injection Fair Lily is a staple for me. I wish that there was more support for this card or a better way to play it. You can play like an Earth machine, or I'm sorry, an Earth deck around her, but
like
she's at one.
Last will target?
Correct. But I haven't really constructed that per se, but I draw her when I need her. And Sangan for the level 3s. Another bit of a tech for myself. I love Big Shield Gardener. This baits out knock left and right. I've had people that will swing into this late game and then they've gamed themselves because their monster's on low enough attack, and then they're just afraid of, like the following games, they don't even want to knock you because they're afraid they're going to waste it on this. Or your Magician, there's a psychological component to this card.
For sure.
That a lot of people
you can even like take it out both side, like
switching into attack mode, creature swapping with your opponent. Like I do all sorts of fun shit with this card. It is definitely nice. And the best card to pair with that, I'm so glad it's actually next in the profile, Tsukiyomi. The amount of resources that people have to expend getting over this card one time is ridiculous, because if they attack it, they're typically SOL. But just to book it again, I don't know, it's a complete pain in the ass to get it out. So this is actually a fun little combo that I pull off routinely. Super Rare is the best rarity for Big Shield Guard. I don't let anyone tell you anything different. The Turbo Pack. One Tribe goes well with the Sinister Serpent. DD Warrior Lady, Breaker, Azura, Kaiku. Again, I mean, you've got Lights and Darks. I only play the one Chaos Monster though, BLS. I don't even play like the Sorcerer, so again, it's a good mixture of Lights and Darks, but again, these are all just good standard level 4s.
Yep.
For the not level 4s, Jinzo, Air Knight. Again, these both work tremendously. Jinzo put in a ton of work today, I'm not going to lie. And then the one BLS, so again, don't try to break too much on the heavier level monsters, but I just feel like it's a decent enough ratio. It's worked well. For the spells, you have the Holy Trinity, because you can't play Go without these cards. I did not see these at all in my finals in my second game, where my opponent definitely did, so I was not in a state where I thought I was going to win, and I did. But
that's the thing about GOAT, like, even if you get Trinity, you can still win. It's like demoralizing, but it's not unwinnable, and I've won plenty, right? So
it does happen. Again, it's few and far in between, but when it does happen, you're like, okay, I did something right back there. But typically, I'd much rather be on the opening end of these cards rather than the receiving end of these cards. Sure. The one heavy as the fourth Trinity piece. One MST, Scapegoat. Again, I know it's GOAT control, but I only do play the one. Snatch Steal, Premature, Metamorphosis, Book, Creature Swap, Brain Control.
In the main, cool.
And 2 knocks. Again, I did notice today, I play a lot of ways of taking my opponent's stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4 between the Metamorphosis, and then I'm trying to think if there's one more. Maybe that was it. But I just found myself taking, like, I played a burn player today who's setting a lot of koalas and the Des Wombat, and I, like, throughout the entire game just kept taking his stuff, and it was not enjoying it whatsoever. So
yeah, the ratios are interesting. You were telling me about that before. Yeah,
again,
for sure. I love it though.
It works for me. Traps, Ring of Destruction, Called, Bottomless, Dust Tornado, Select Guretsu, Torrential Tribute, and Mirror Force. Again, just goated traps. I think that
Bottomless underrated in Go format. I feel like
very
it's
good.
So good.
I find myself hitting a lot of. I hit an Air Knight with it today. I hit a Breaker with it. That was I resolved it both times I drew it. I ran into Cyber Jar 3 games in one of my first match, and that was the match. Oh, shout out! Were you playing when the fire alarm went off?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a wild thing to occur. Our first match, the fire alarm went off, and game 3, I had 10 cards in my hand from Cyber Jar, and he had a very weak board. And as I was going into my turn to win, the fire alarm went off.
Dang.
And so we had to leave, and I came back, and we had to play game 3 again. And I was like, you cannot tell me that I just had that much advantage going into turn.
I got lucky. I wrapped it up right as it was. Yeah.
I wish. Side deck. This actually is kind of sweet. You can absolutely destroy back row with it. I set this against my burn player, and he had knock for it, which was ridiculous because I had Tsukiyomi in hand, and he was playing level limit and gravity binds. And as soon as he set 3 and I had this, I was like, I'm going to mess you up, and he knocked it.
Dang it.
So it happens, but in theory, the card was sick. I play 2 Berserker and Zumbreya. These are just good beaters. Especially, this is sick if you know your opponent's on the Gravekeeper monster, so you can at least beat over the first one. Spy.
Yeah.
Beast down is just impressive. Another Kaiku for Chaos decks, just to help get rid of shit in the graveyard, and then also prohibit them from banishing. Play 2 Soul Release. Again, just Chaos decks, and then being able to push out of the graveyard. But
yeah, I mean, even banishing spells, so they can't get it back with Moth is kind of nice too.
Absolutely. 2 Smashing Ground never really came into play, but again, if you're like, Gravekeeper Spy is just such an annoying ass card, so the fact that you can kind of have this, or I don't know, never really came up, but it's one of those niche cards. And then I did side this in a couple times, believe it or not, just because someone used it on me and actually stalled them out for 3 turns, and I was like, well, if you're going to do that, I might try and do that as well. But and then for the traps, 2 Judgment and Magic Cylinder. In the finals, my opponent I had to get through 2 Judgments in my last game, which was kind of unfortunate, but I did bait them both out. This could be a 3rd Judgment, I guess, if you really wanted it to, but the side deck, I would say, is not like anything too crazy to freak out about over in Goat. But
and when are you bringing the cylinder? When are you bringing in this?
When am I bringing it? If they're showing like a really big, like again, Chaos decks where they're dropping really big monsters like Summon Torque or BLS, those aren't going to be uncommon. I feel like it's a decent card there, but again, a lot of times they're expending enough resources to get over your big shield Gardenas and whatnot that I cited this in once. I did not see it today, so I can't say it was.
I lost at the last 3v3 to that card.
Really?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like last year in Vegas.
It's very trolly. One of my guys at my locals plays a lot in GOAT format, and so I've definitely taken an L to it once or twice, and it's just one of those cards that like once you see it, you're like, there's just a psychological aspect to it.
I spent like 5 minutes comboing off, and like he just hit me for 28 with that. I was like, okay. He was just like sitting there with,
just knowing he had it the whole time.
Exactly.
No, it's a dirty ass card. Actually, Yugi plays it, which is why I play it. So I'm just shout out to Yugi Moto.
The fan content area is back there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we're literally in like the last minute.